Howdy folks, and welcome back to Old School Studios. We're back at the building, Unit 3, Part 2. And we are going to work on copper plumbing. So what my task for today is to get this water shut off. Get my shut-off valves put on here for the tub. Once I have the water shut off, I could cut the water lines for this vanity and get that vanity out of here. And at the same time, I could cut these copper pipes and get a shut-off valve that's compliant quarter turn. So, with that being said, and without further ado, I'm going to set this camera up on the tripod and get some of these lines cut. Try to get the water shut off first, actually. And let's get started with that now. Alright, so I want to get these water lines shut down. See, these are so tight and old, I'd have to shut the whole building off to change these, so we just put new shut-off valves on each individual item that these are supplying. So once these get turned back on, I could basically take the knobs off. They'll never be used again. Water will just be flowing through them. There we go. Alright, I'm tight. Alright, let's see if that stopped the water. Yes, it did. Alright, so my water has been shut off. So what I could do now is get these lines cut and get my other quarter turn shut off valves on here. And let's do it. Okay, normally I would use the big pipe cutter, but I don't have enough room to make, I can't make the turn, so you gotta use a small one. Clearly not as sharp. Boy, somebody is doing some serious pot smoking in this building. It's just flowing through here. I'm buzzed.
President Obama, but look at the people who are the heavy hitters inside the Biden-Harris administration. Alejandro Mayorkas was in the Department of Justice for Barack Obama under Eric Holder, and of course into the days of Loretta Lynch. Look at Ron Klain. Ron Klain is an old party hand there. You look at Jake Sullivan, another old party hand.
Little moisture.
So these are all the same people. They're just moving around in different seats. And even Susan Rice is now the domestic policy advisor. Remember, she was the national security advisor before that was UN ambassador, and she was responsible for the unmasking. When Rush talks about holding strings to DOJ and all those other places, the FBI. Remember, it was Susan Rice that did the unmasking of American citizens involved in the Trump campaign, the surveillance. And we know Susan Rice's core competency would not be domestic policy advisor. And wouldn't you think that Susan Rice would be out in public making appearances on television shows if she was the domestic policy advisor and we've got a border crisis like we have at the border? But that's another loyalist, right? That's another Obama loyalist that's helping to run the operation on the domestic policy front. Why is she the DPA? Why is she the domestic policy advisor? Because she can't get confirmed for another sort of position that she would have to get confirmed for, a national security advisor, an ambassadorship someplace. She'd go out there and it would all be about unmasking and spying on the Trump campaign. It would be all of that stuff, folks. I mean, it would be an incredible thing. Because for these folks, every other word out of their mouth for the last 4 or 5 years was Putin, 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 and Putin and Russia. Russia and Putin, Putin and Russia. That's what it was. And so we get to this place where there's now a spat that has taken root. A spat between President Biden and Vladimir Putin over. For those who don't know, during the interview with George Stephanopoulos, you have President Biden asked by George Stephanopoulos, what do you think about Putin? What's your opinion? Do you think he's a killer? Joe Biden said, yes, I think he's a killer. Well, gosh, don't you think that gets back to Vlad Putin? They get Stephanopoulos' show over in St. Petersburg. They watch it in the on the big 16-inch TV. I mean, they know what's going on in the United States. Just like the Chinese know what's going on in the United States. Vlad knows what's going on in the United States. And so, what do you have? You have Vladimir Putin getting asked by the press.
This little knob, so small that when my fingers get wet, I can't turn it.
Good health. He wishes him well, wishes him good health. But this didn't stop now. This didn't end. What do you have? You have Vlad Putin now coming out and challenging President Biden to a debate. This could be, what is this going to be? This could be the Kennedy-Khrushchev kitchen debate that we read about in the history books, or we experienced, if we're old enough to do it. Russian President Vlad Putin, this according to ABC, has reacted to President Joe Biden calling him a killer by challenging Biden to take part in a conversation with him broadcast live online. I just thought of this now, Putin told a Russian state television reporter. I want to propose to President Biden to continue our discussion, but on the condition that we do it basically live. We'll do it live. We have any clothes and directly...
Alright, so now I'm all cut.
It seems to me that would be...
I'm going to go into the bathroom and get these knobs all off and the off. Alright, I need to get other tools. You're gonna be stubborn. Yucky, yucky. Oh boy. Oh, come on. There we go. Okay, I need to chop this off right here or else I can't get it out. Oh, is this gonna cock block me? Probably. Let's see if I can get this one to work. Come on, no, you ain't gonna fucking. I need the small one. So, come back, come back. Okay, so now I should be able to pull this right out of here. Just like so. So the new one looks like this. And I need a bigger hole cut right. So that means I need, this hole's not going to be used, this one, I need a big hole here. So basically I just get my hammer and knock out a section because I fill it in with tiles and put a new tub surround over top of it. So I'm going to get started with knocking that hole. I'm going to get my shut-off valves on these. We'll just get started. Alright, so normally I don't use shark bites, but in this case I had leakage. There's no way for me to get rid of the water beneath that, and I'd be sitting here heating this up forever trying to get the water that's below these valves drained out. There's just no way. I don't even have a good vacuum here that I'm willing to sacrifice and get wet. So I do shark bites on these on occasion. Not all the time. I prefer to solder, but it is what it is. So we're going to start building our stems. And we're going to get busy with that now. Actually, with the water being off, I'm going to rip this vanity out of here and get my shut-off lines on these, and then I could actually turn the water back on so my kitchen sink works again. So I'm going to yank this thing out of here and put my shut-off valves on. Alright, with the water lines being unhooked and the drain being unhooked, I could now wrench this thing out of here, and I'm going to go get a hammer and some pry bars and get this thing apart and out of here. And
she was named in 2019, by the way, to be the Emerging Journalist of the Year by the National Association. She apologized. She deleted all the tweets twice. Did what she could do, but the woke culture, the cancel culture comes after everybody. America's changing. We talked about this in 2015 before the turn. That is happening throughout Western nations, Western cultures, and Western civilization countries. It is a creep, 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 creep.
Alright, so for the situation we have here, with these shut-off, there's no shut-off valves currently. So what I do is I put this on 3/4 inch to 3/4 inch female compression. So let me show you what we do here. These here are 3/4 inch threads. This side spins, it's attached, and it has a bushing in there. This side gets removed and gets a braided water line. So side gets removed, it gets a braided water line. This side stays on, quarter turn shut off. And voila. Okay, so with that being put on, my valves are off. I could technically turn this water back on. So I'm going to end up doing the same thing when I get the toilet removed, because oh wait a minute, this toilet does have a shut-off valve. So I take that back. I won't have to do it with the toilet. Somebody already did. That's a first. All right, so let me clean up some of this mess that I just created, and we'll get busy with the installing this. All right, so this is my stem. So we'll be looking at it like this from the behind. This goes up to the shower head, cold, hot, down to the tub spout. So each one of these needs a female 1/2 inch copper fitting. I just argued with the lady at Lowe's. She was trying to charge me almost $8 a piece from these. And I was like, because they didn't have little stickers on them. I'm like, nope, nope, you're wrong, nope. I had to walk back to the plumbing department, come back, they're $1.89 a piece. So with these, they have to be soldered with a piece of pipe on it, because remember, we don't ever want to get this hot. So I'm going to solder lengths of pipe to each of these, and then cut them, and then crank them on here with liquid Teflon. Remember the Ote liquid Teflon pipe joint compound? And then I could do all my soldering away from it. I have to put elbows bringing these down. This will have a coupling attaching it upward, and then this one will go into the shower stall for the tub spout. So let's get busy. I have to make 4 of these, and we'll get started now. I'm just healing from one wound, these 2, and now I just got another one that won't stop bleeding. That's lovely, ain't it? See? That's my, the perk of my job. I guess I'm privileged, huh? Okay, so before any copper can be soldered, it has to be cleaned, and I've been using this little tool. It's called the Blue Monster. It comes in 1/2 inch and 3/4 inch, and this end goes into and it cleans out. Oops, you gotta go in reverse, I forgot. In slow motion. One. Two. Three. So really quick, why you gotta go in forward is or in reverse, if you go forward, it unthreads this little thing because that's replaceable, which is nice. Okay, so all 4 of those. So now you take this and you push it up and it does the outside of your pipe. You could do that in forward motion. See how clean that thing is? It would have taken me 4 or 5 minutes to get that clean. 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 Alright. The next step with this is you get your Fluxy from Biloxi, and this is lead-free flux for potable water, and you need a little flux brush. Find my flux brush. Seems like my good clean packet of flux brushes always turns up missing. There's probably 12 of them buried in my truck somewhere. So I do have a flux brush here. I'm just cleaning it up a little bit so it doesn't have any pollutants on it. You don't want to pollute it. Alright, so here's what your flux looks like. You get in there with your flux brush. I like to do the insides of these first, so then when I do the outsides I could just slide them right in and they don't get contaminated. So paint that in there. You can't really put too much, it'll just disappear. You can wipe it off. Get them all fluxed up. Make sure you don't lose any hairs in there. See that little hair? Don't want that. Oh, it's stuck to me. It won't leave. Okay, those 4. Get some more flux on your brush. Can't have too much. And now you flux your clean pipe and stick it immediately into the fitting so it don't pick up any pollutants, contaminants. What the heck is with this one? Oh, this must have been the end of the pipe. They had a ding in it. Hold on 1 second. Alright, let's try that again. I cut that bad section of pipe off. That must have been the end of the pipe, and it must have got dinged by it in transport. Okay, so in a previous episode I discussed with you that you don't, when you solder these, and if you put too much solder, you don't want solder leaking into these threads. Remember we had bad threads before, and I had a leak after the whole thing was put together. As a matter of fact, I'm going to check my threads right now to make sure they're not jacked up. I did not buy any extra. The threads look pretty good. That last time I had an extra, oh, see, like right here, I have a missing, see that right there? There's missing threads in there. That's gonna be a leaker, I think. Well, maybe that was just grease. No, that was my flux, my bad. Alright, so what I want to do is find a little prop so these are angling uphill a little bit. So when I solder this, my solder has to go uphill, because I do not want any solder leaking into these threads. So I'm going to go find something and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have these angled on a little piece of aluminum going uphill, and when I solder, my solder will travel uphill. I'll give these a little roll and hit them from the other side to make sure I have 360-degree coverage. I use Sterling premium lead-free solder for potable water. I use MAP gas torch. Bellow tank is MAP gas. Hit the pipe first for a second and then go on your fitting. So it gives the pipe a chance to get hot. Give it a roll. Get your pipe first, then your fitting. Give it a roll. At least we know the smoke detector works. It was right above me, sitting in a cabinet. Alright, let's try that again. So those are all soldered up, and I'm going to let them cool down, and I'm going to wipe them clean, because anywhere that the flux was on the copper, it turns blue and green, and you come back a year later and you're like, ugh, I don't like the looks of that. It grows like barnacles anywhere that you leave flux on your pipe. So get yourself a wet rag and wipe your flux joints and your pipes, and it'll take away that nastiness. Alright, we'll get ready for the next phase here. Okay, so now with all four of these cleaned up, wiped clean, cooled off, I could now put liquid Teflon onto all the threads of this and crank these on as tight as humanly possible without stripping them. And I could hold this up in place, and with my Sharpie marker mark on the copper where my pipes need to be cut. Like the hot and the cold coming from the left and the right need elbows going down. The top needs to be cut for a coupling going up. the bottom needs to be cut for an elbow going into the tub. So all of 4 of these need cut. You don't know I mean, you could get a rough roundabout measurement, but you have to put this thing together, hold it in place where you want it, and you'll be much more accurate. I've tried doing the measuring method, and I mean, you have to compensate for your fittings and where the pipe slides into the fittings. It's just easier to screw them on, hold it in place where you want it, make your marks, and voila. So we're going to get the liquid Teflon going. By the way, this is marked up. That means this is the shower head side. So we'll start with that. And you get some Teflon on here. You don't worry about putting too much. You can wipe it off. You want every nook and cranny of those threads filled with it. And I'll pick one of the short ones because that is my shower head would be one of the shorter pipes. So put this on. You could take this amount here and stick it onto the next one.
Absolutely spot on. Think of all the times that you have gone and walked into a store and you didn't have your mask. The sudden feeling of shame and derision coming over you. In fact, when you do go over there and you grab your mask, you turn your head as you put it on and then you're able to freely walk through the store to get the groceries you need. Awful lot of them still do a mask on a bad person. Oh, you're not a bad person. As I said, in condition. Tara is in South Bend, Indiana. Tara, welcome to the program. What's on your mind today? Welcome to Rush and Rush.
Hi, thank you so much for taking my call. I am very disturbed by the cancel culture that just keeps resurfacing. And when I was speaking with your producer...
Make sure you get it into every nook and cranny. It could be wiped off. It's messy, but it could be wiped off. You don't want this thing to leak while it's in the wall. Alright, so let me clean up my hands. I'm going to go get another pair of channel locks and I will crank these tight and we'll be right back at you, back behind the tub. Okay, so I have the spindle or the faucet sitting in place. I'm going to start with the shower head. I have the wet rag wrapped around where I've already soldered, and I'm going to hold the solder, and I'm going to solder this so the thing is holding in place by itself. Then I could build these and these. And in order to get it into the shutoff valve, I need, I actually only bought one, and I meant to grab another one and I forgot. But what this is, this coupling right here doesn't have a stopper in it. It's smooth all the way through, and normally it has like a little dent. I'll show you one that... This one has a stopper. See that little dent on that? It prevents it from sliding over the pipe, or I want one to slide over the pipe so I can make a split. I could push it down into this shark bite here, push it down, push one in there, and then slip this coupling and solder it out in the middle. I only have one. I needed 2 of those. So I'm going to do the shower first, and I'm all ready to go. Let's go ahead and do it. It's not pretty, but it's effective. I probably used a little too much solder. We'll let this thing cool down for a second, and we'll pull the wet rag off and give this a wiping. Alright, so here's where we're at. I just got a text message that I have to go fix a drip on something at another property. So we're gonna call it quits for today. Thank you for watching Old School Studios. Please hit like and subscribe. Have a good day.